Can you hear me? Okay, good. That's a great place to start. My name is Tony Shaberjohn, and I'm the Artistic Director for Evansville Shakespeare Players, and thank you for braving the weather to come out here tonight. I don't know what magic you guys are doing, but keep doing it to keep the rain gone until, 9:30-ish, okay? That would be great. Welcome to our 13th annual Shakespeare in the Park. One of the things we're really proud of is this has gone on for 13 years, and one of the neat things about it is completely subsisted on donations thus far. So we will ask you for that later. But until then, I got some housekeeping things to tell you. We have some light concessions over here. John D. Wave. If you need anything during the show, come see me. Their bathroom is straight back there. If you need it, please feel free to use it. Willard has been really gracious, and they stay open through our whole show. So if you need to go back there, and if you see anybody from Willard, thank them for supporting the arts. That would be wonderful. Also, we're a unique show in that if you could please turn your cell phones off, because if we hear them ring, we'll answer them. But you can feel free to take pictures during our show. Just be sure if you share them on social media to tag us, because some of the best pictures we get come from you guys in the audience. So we would love that. Also, if you are on social media, like us on Facebook and Instagram so you can see what we're up to next. So to do that, because we're outside, I don't have to talk to you about emergency exits. If for some reason it does start a light sprinkle, I will be watching the radar for all of you during the show and frantically worrying about it. But if I pop back up here, I will give you instructions quickly. The library will be open, so that will probably be our plan. Also, if you look in the program, we have announced that what we are doing this winter, on the heels of doing Winter's Tale last winter, we did Winter's Tale. We will be doing an adventure called Pericles this winter. It's a more little known show, but it also is a lot of fun, and come back and see these beautiful actors do that show. We will be doing that down at Stage 2 at 321, just down the highway. Lastly, I mentioned at first that everything we do, whatever we collected last summer, made this summer possible. For those of you who came last summer, I hope this summer you noticed the improvements in the sound, particularly. It's something we've worked really hard on this year. So every summer we work to improve, but we do that through your donations. If you have cash, we will be collecting at intermission and after the show. Somebody will circulate during intermission, or I can take it at the table. We also have a QR code inside the program if you prefer to do digital money. Lastly, this show is a very important show to me because this was the last show that someone very dear to me saw before he passed away. His name was Steve Small. He is very near and dear to the theater community, and this show is dedicated to him this evening. So with that in mind, sit back, relax, and enjoy as you like it.
It was upon this fashion, bequeathed me by will, but poor 1,000 crowns. As thou sayest, charge my brother on his blessing to breed me well. And there begins my sadness. My brother Jacques, he keeps at school, and report speaks goldenly of his profit. But for my part, he keeps me rustically at home, or to speak more properly, stays me here, at home, unkept. For call you that keeping for a gentleman of my birth? That differs not from the stalling of an ox. This nothing that he so plentifully gives me, this something nature gave me, his countenance seems to take from me. He lets me feed with his hinds, bars me the place of a brother, and as much as in him lies, minds my gentility with my education. And this is it, Addie, that grieves me. And the spirit of my father, which I think is within me, begins to mute me against this servitude. I will no longer endure it, though yet I know no wise remedy how to avoid it.
Yonder comes my master, your brother.
Go apart, Addie, and thou shalt hear how he will shake me up.
Now, sir, what make you here?
Nothing. I am not taught to make it.
What mar you then, sir?
Marry, sir, I am helping you to mar that which God made, a poor unworthy brother of yours with idleness,
Very, sir. Be better employed. And be not a while.
Shall I keep your hogs and eat husks with them? What prodigal portion have I spent that I should come to such penury?
Know you where you are, sir?
Oh, sir, very well. Here, in your orchard.
Know you before whom, sir?
Aye. Better than mine before knows me. I know you are my eldest, firstborn brother, and in the gentle condition of blood, you should so know me. I have as much of my father in me as you, albeit I confess, your coming before me is nearer to his reverence.
What, boy?
Oh, come, elder brother, you are too young in this.
Thou lay hands on me, villain?
I am no villain. I am the youngest son of Sir Roland de Bois. He was my father, and he is thrice a villain that says such a father begot villains. Wert thou not my brother, I would not take this hand from thy throat till this other had pulled out thy tongue for saying so. You have railed on yourself!
Sweet masters, have patience. Your father's memory is in accord.
Let me go, I say.
I will not till I please. You shall hear me. My father charged you in his will to give me good education. You have trained me like a peasant, obscuring and hiding from me all gentlemanlike qualities. The spirit of my father grows strong in me, and I will no longer endure it. Therefore, allow me such exercises as may become a gentleman, or give me the poor lottery my father left me by testament. With that I will go buy my fortunes.
And what wilt thou do? Beg when that is spent? Well, sir, get you in. I'll not long be troubled with you. You shall have some part of your will. I pray you, leave me.
I will no further offend you than becomes me for my good.
We'll get you with him, you old dog.
Old dog? Is that my reward? True, I lost most of my teeth in your service. Oh, God, look over my old master. He never would have said such a word.
Is it even so? Begin you to grow upon me? I will physic your rankness, and yet give no 1,000 crowns neither. Holla, Dennis.
Calls your worship?
Was not Charles, the Duke's wrestler, here to speak with me?
So please you, he is at the door and importunes access to you.
Call him in. Will be a good way, and tomorrow the wrestling is.
Good morrow to your worship.
Good Monsieur Charles. What's the new news at the new court?
There's no news at the court, sir, but rather the old news. The old Duke has been banished by his younger brother, the new Duke, and 3 or 4 of his loving lords have placed themselves in a voluntary exile with him. Now, his lands and revenues enrich the new Duke, therefore he gives them good leave to wander.
Can you tell if Rosalind, the Duke's daughter, be banished with her father?
Oh, no. You see, the Duke's daughter, her cousin, so loves her, being ever from their cradles bred together, that she would have followed her into exile or died to stay behind her. Now, she is at the court, and no less beloved of her uncle than his own daughter, and never 2 ladies loved as they do.
Where will the old Duke and his wife live?
They say they're already in the forest of Arden, and many merry men with them. There they live like the old Robin Hood of England. They say many young people flock to them and fleet their time carelessly as they did in the Golden World.
You wrestle tomorrow before the new Duke?
Marry do I, sir, but I came to acquaint you with a matter. Given, sir, secretly to understand that your younger brother Orlando hath a disposition to come in disguised against me to try and fall. Tomorrow, sir, I wrestle for my credit, and he who escapes me without some broken limb shall acquit himself well. But your brother is but young and tender, and for your love, I would be loath to foil him, as I must for my own honor if you come in. Therefore, out of my love to you, I come hither to acquaint you with all. Either you stay him from his intendment, or brook such disgrace, well as he shall run into, that he is the thing of his own search and altogether against my will.
Charles, I thank thee for thy love to me, which thou shalt find I will most kindly requite. I had myself notice of my brother's purpose herein, and have by underhand means labored to dissuade him from it. But he is resolute. I tell thee, Charles, it is the stubbornest young fellow of France, full of ambition, an envious emulator of every man's good parts, a secret and villainous contriver against me, his natural brother. Therefore use thy discretion. I had his leave, thou didst break his neck as his finger, and thou wert best look to it. For if thou dost him any slight disgrace, or if he do not mightily grace himself on thee, he will practice against thee by poison, entrap thee by some treacherous device, and never leave thee till he have taken thy life by some indirect means or other. For, I assure thee, and almost with tears I speak it, there is not one so young and so villainous this day living. Oh, I speak of readily of him. But should I anatomize him to thee as he is, I must blush and weep, and thou must look pale in wonder.
I'm heartily glad I came hither to you. If he come tomorrow, I will give him his payment. If he ever go alone again, I will never wrestle for my prize more. So God keep your worship.
Farewell, good Charles. Now will I stir this gangster. I hope I shall see an end of him. For my soul, yet I know not why, hates nothing more than he. Oh, yet he's gentle, never schooled, and yet learned, full of noble device, of all sorts, enchantedly beloved, and indeed so much in the heart of the world, especially of my own people, who best know him, that I am altogether misprized. It shall not be so long. This wrestler shall clear all. Nothing remains but that I kindled the boy thither, which now I'll go about.
I pray thee, Rosalind, sweet my cuz, be merry.
Dear Celia, I show more mirth than I am mistress of, and would you yet I were merrier? Unless you could teach me to forget a most banished father and mother, you must not learn me to remember any extraordinary pleasure.
Herein I see that thou lovest me not with the full weight that I love thee. If my father, the Duke thy uncle, would have banished thy father, the Duke my uncle, and so it's been still with me, I could have taught my love to take thy father for mine. And so wouldst thou if thy love for me was as righteously tempered as mine is to thee.
Well, then I will forget the condition of my estate to rejoice in yours.
You know my father hath no child but I, nor is like to have. And surely when he dies, thou shalt be his heir. For what he obtained from thy father perforce, I will render thee back in affection. By my honor I will. And when I break that oath,
Return, monster!
therefore, my sweet Rose, my dear Rose, be merry.
From henceforth I will, cuz. And devise sports. Let me see. What think you of falling in love?
Woo! Marry, I prithee do to make sport withal, but love no man in good earnest, nor no further in the sport neither, than with the safety of a pure blush thou mayest in honor come off again.
But what shall be our sport then?
Let us sit and mock the good housewife Fortune from her wheel, that her gifts may be henceforth disposed equally.
I would we could do so, for her benefits are mightily misplaced, and the bountiful blind woman doth most mistake in her gifts to women.
'Tis true, for though she makes fair, she scarce make honest, and though she makes honest, she makes very ill-favoredly.
Nay, now thou goest from Fortune's office to Nature's. Fortune reigns in the gifts of the world, not in the lineaments of nature.
No? Though nature hath made a fair creature, would not by fortune she fall into fire? Though nature hath give us the wit to flout at fortune, hath not fortune sent this wit to cut off the argument?
Indeed, fortune is too hard for nature when fortune makes nature's natural, the cutter offer of nature's wit.
Peradventure, this is not fortune's work neither, but nature, who perceiveth our natural wits too dull to reason of such goddesses, and sends this natural for our whetstone. For always the dullness of the fool is the whetstone of the wit. How now, wit, whither wander you?
Mistress, you must come away to your father.
Were you made the messenger?
No, by my honor, but I was bid to come to you.
Where learned you this oath, fool?
of a certain knight that swore by his honor they were good pancakes and swore by his honor that the mustard was not. Now I'll stand to it. The pancakes were not, but the mustard, the mustard was good, and yet was not this knight forsworn.
Now, how prove you that in the great heap of your knowledge?
Oh, stand you both forth now. Come, stroke your chins and swear by your beards that I am a knave.
By our beards, if we had them, thou art.
And by my knavery, if I had it, then I were. But if you swear by that, that is not, then you are not forsworn. And no more was this knight swearing by his honor, for he never had any. Or if he did, he had sworn it away before he ever saw those pancakes or that mustard.
I prithee, who is it thou meanest?
Oh, one that old Frederick, your father, loves.
Oh, speak no more of my father. My father's love is enough to honor him. You'll be whipped for taxation one of these days.
The more pity that fools may not speak wisely when the wise men do foolishly.
By my troth, thou sayest true, for the little wit that fools have was silenced. The little foolery that wise men makes has a great show. Oh, here comes LeBeau. Oh, with their mouth crammed full of news, which they will put on us like pigeons feed their young, and we shall be news crammed. All the better, we shall be more marketable. Bonjour, LeBeau. What's the news?
Fair princess, you have lost much good sport.
Oh, sport? Of what color?
What color, madam? How shall I answer you?
As wit and fortune will.
Or as the destinies decree.
Well said. That was laid on with a travel.
Nay, if I keep not my
Thy losest, thy old smell.
Ladies, you amaze me. I would have told you of good wrestling, which you have lost the sight of.
Ooh, you tell us the manner of this wrestling.
I will tell you the beginning, and if it please your ladyships, you may yet see the end. For the best is yet to do, and here where you are, they are coming to perform it.
Oh, well, the beginning, that is dead and buried.
There comes an old man and his 3 sons.
I can match this with the beginning of an old tale.
3 proper young men of excellent growth and presence.
With bills on their necks, be it known to all men by these presents.
The eldest of the 3 wrestled with Charles, the Duke's wrestler, which Charles, in a moment, threw him and broke 3 of his ribs, that there is little hope of life left in him. So he served the 2nd, and so the 3rd. Yonder they lie. Their poor old man, their father, making such pitiful dole over them, that all the beholders take his part with weeping.
Alas!
But what is the sport the ladies have lost?
Why, this that I speak of.
Thus men may grow wiser every day. This is the first that ever I heard that the breaking of ribs was the sport for ladies.
Or I promise thee. Is there any else that longs to see this broken music in his sides? Is there yet another that dotes upon this rib breaking? Shall we see the wrestling, cousin?
You must if you stay here, for this is the place appointed for the wrestling, and they are ready to perform it.
Yonder, sure. They are coming. Let us now stay and see it.
Come on. Since the youth will not be entreated, but his own peril upon his forwards.
Is yonder the man?
Even he, madam.
Alas, he is too young. Yet he looks successfully.
Oh, no, daughter. And cousin, are you crept hither to see the wrestling?
Aye, my liege, so pray you give us leave.
You shall take little delight in it, I can tell. There's such odds in the land.
In pity for the challenger's youth, I would fain dissuade him, but he will not be entreated. Speak to him. See if you can move him.
Call him hither, good LeBeau.
Do so. I shall not be by.
Monsieur the challenger, the princess calls for you.
I attend them with all respect and duty.
Gentlemen, have you challenged Charles the wrestler?
No, fair princess. He's the general challenger. I come but in, as others do, to try with him the strength of my youth.
Young gentlemen, your spirit is too bold for your years. You've seen the cruel course of this man's strength. If you saw yourself with your eyes or knew yourself with your judgment, the fear of your adventure would counsel you to a more equal enterprise. We pray you for your own sake. Embrace your own safety and give over this attempt. Do, good sir. Your reputation shall therefore not be misprized. We will make it our suit to the Duke that this wrestling may not go forward.
I beseech you, punish me not with your hard thoughts, wherein I confess me much guilty to deny so fair and excellent ladies anything, but let your fair eyes and gentle wishes go with me to my trial, wherein, if I be foiled, there is but one shamed that was never gracious. If killed, but one dead that was willing to be so. I shall do my friends no wrong, for I have none to lament with. The world no injury, for in it I have nothing. Only in the world I fill up a place which may be better supplied when I have made it empty.
The little strength I have, I would it were with you.
And mine, to eke out hers.
Here with you, I pray heaven I be deceived in you.
Your heart's desires be with you.
Come! Where is this young gallant that is so desirous to lie with his mother earth?
Ready, sir, but his will hath in it a more modest working.
You should try, but one fault.
No, I warrant your grace. Do not entreat him to a second that have so mightily persuaded him from a first.
When you mean to mock me after, you should not have mocked me before. Come your
Hercules,
way.
be thy speed, young man! I would I were invisible to sweep the strong fellow by the leg.
Come on.
No more, no more.
Oh, most excellent young man!
Yes, I beseech your grace. I am not yellow breathed.
How dost thou, Charles?
He cannot speak, my lord.
Bear him away. What is thy name, young man?
Orlando, my liege, youngest son of Sir Roland de Bois.
And wouldst thou have been son to some man else? The world esteemed thy father honorable, but I did find in him still mine enemy.
Thou shouldst have pleased me better with this deed, had thou been descended from another house. But fare thee well, thou art a gallant youth. I wish thou had told me of another father.
Were I my father, cousin, would I do this?
I am more proud to be Sir Roland's son, his youngest son. Do not change that calling to be adopted heir to the throne.
My father loved Sir Roland as his soul, and all the world was of my father's mind. Had I known this young man, his son, ere I should have given him tears into entreaties, or he should thus have ventured.
Let us go and thank him and encourage him, gentle cousin. My father's rough and envious disposition sticks me at heart. Good sir, you are well deserved. If you keep your promise and love, but as justly as you've exceeded all promise, your mistress shall be happy.
Gentlemen, wear this for me. One out of suits with my fortunes that could give more better hand-lax meals.
Shall we go, cuz? Aye. Fare you well, fair gentlemen.
Can I not say I thank you? My better parts are all thrown down, and that which here stands up is but a quintain, a mere lifeless block.
He calls us back. My pride fell with my fortunes. I'll ask him what he would. Did you call, sir? Sir, you have wrestled well and overthrown more than your enemies.
Will you go, cuz?
Have with you? Very well.
What passion hangs these weights? What passion hangs these weights upon my tongue? I cannot speak to her, yet she urged conference. Orlando, thou art overthrown. Or Charles, or something weaker masters thee.
Good sir, I do in friendship counsel you to leave this place. Albeit you have deserved high commendation, true applause and love. Such is now the Duke's condition that he misconstrues all you have done. The Duke is humorous. What he is indeed more suits you to conceive than I speak of.
I thank you, and pray you, tell me this. Which of the two is daughter of the Duke that here was at the wrestling?
Neither his daughter, if we judge by manners, but yet indeed, the lesser is his daughter, the other is daughter to the banished Duke, and here detained to keep his daughter company, whose loves are dearer than the natural bond of sisters. But as of late, this Duke hath taken his pleasure against his gentle niece. grounded upon no other argument but that the people praise her for her virtues and pity her for her good father's sake. On my life, this mouse against the lady will suddenly break forth. But, sir, very well. Hereafter, in a better world than this, I shall desire more love and knowledge of you.
I rest much bound unto you. Fare you well. Thus must I from the smoke into the smother, from a tyrant duke unto a tyrant brother. But heavenly Rosalind.
My cousin, why Rosalind, Cupid have mercy, not a word? Not one to throw at a dog. No, thy words are too precious to cast upon curs. Throw some at me, come lame me with reasons. Then there were two cousins laid up. One lamed with reasons, and the other mad without any. But is all of this for your father? No. Some of it is for my child's father. Oh, how full of briars is this working day world. They are but burrs, cousin, thrown on thee in holiday foolery. Oh. If we walked not in the trodden paths, our very petticoats would catch them. Oh, I could shake them off my coat, but these burrs are in my heart. Hem them away. Oh, I would try and cry hem, if I could have him. Come, come. Wrestle with us! Ah! So they take the better part of a wrestler than myself. How good wish upon you, but you will try in time despite of a fall. Let's take these jests out of service and talk in good earnest. Is it possible, on such a sudden, that you should fall into so strong a liking with old Sir Roland's youngest son? The Duke, my father, loved his father dearly. Doth it therefore ensue that you should love his son dearly? By this chase I should hate him, for my father hated his father dearly, but I hate not Orlando. No, faith, hate him not for my sake. Why, should I not? Doth he not deserve well? Let me love him for that, and you love him because I do. Oh, here comes the Duke, with his eyes full of anger.
Mistress, dispatch yourself with the safest haste and get thee from our court.
Me, uncle? You, cousin. Within these 10 days, if thou beest found so near our public court as 20 miles, thou diest for it.
I do beseech your grace. Let me the knowledge of my fault bear with me, or with myself I hold intelligence, or have acquaintance with my own desires. If I do not dream, or be not frantic, as I trust I am not, then, dear uncle, never so much as a thought unborn did I offend your highness.
Thus do all traitors. If their purgation did consist in words, they are as innocent as grace itself.
Oh, let it suffice thee that we trust thee not.
Your mistrust does not make me a traitor. Tell me whereon the likelihood depends.
Thou art thy father's daughter. There's enough.
And so was I when your highness took his dukedom. And so was I when your highness banished him. Treason is not inherited, my lord. Or if we did derive it of friends, what is that to me? My father is no traitor. And mistake me not so much to think my poverty, my liege, is treacherous. Dear sovereign, hear me speak.
Aye, Celia, we stayed her for your sake. Else with your father she had ranged alone.
I did not then entreat to have her stay. It was your pleasure and your own remorse. I was too young then to value her. But now I know her. If she be a traitor, then why so am I. All this time we have slept together, rose at an instant, learned, played, eat together, and wheresoever we went like Juno's swan, still we went coupled and inseparable.
She is too subtle for thee. Her smoothness, her very patience and silence speak to the people, and they pity her.
Thou art a fool. She robs thee of thy name, and thou wilt show more bright and seem more virtuous when she is gone. And open not thy lips. Firm and irrevocable is our doom which we have passed upon her. She is banished.
Pronounce that sentence then on me, my liege. I cannot live without her company.
Then you are a fool. Niece, revive thyself. If thou outstay the time, then on my honor and in the greatness of my words, you die.
Oh, my poor Rosalind. Whither wilt thou go? Wilt I change fathers? I will give thee mine. I charge thee, be not more grieved than I am. I am more cause. Thou hast not. Knowest thou that the Duke hath banished me, his daughter? That he hath not. No, hath not. Rosalind then lacks the love which teaches thee that thou and I are one. Shall we be surrendered? Shall we part, sweet girl? No, let my father seek another heir. Therefore, devise with me how we may fly, whither to go and what to bear with us. Do not seek to take your change upon you, to bear your griefs yourself and leave me out. For by this heaven, now in our sorrows pale, say what thou canst, and I will go along with thee.
Why? Whither shall we go?
To seek my uncle in the forest of Arden.
Alas, what a danger it will be to us, maids as we are, to travel for so far. Beauty provoketh thieves sooner than gold.
I will put myself in a poor and mean attire, with a kind of umber smirch on my face and the like to view, so we may pass along and never stir assailants.
Were it not better, because I am more than common tall, that I did all points suit me like a man, a gallant curtle axe upon my thigh, a boar spear in my hand, and in my heart lie there, well hidden, a woman's fear their will, we shall have a very swashing and martial outside, and as many other mannish cowards that do outface it with their semblances.
Now what shall I call thee when thou art command?
Oh, I'll have no worse a name than Jove's own page. Look, you call me Ganymede, but what will you be called?
Something that hath reference to my state, no longer Celia, but Eliana.
Now, cousin, what if we essayed to steal that clownish fool from your father's court? Would he not be a comfort to our travel?
Oh, he'll go along o'er the wide world with me. Leave me alone to woo him. Let's away. Gather our jewels and wealth together. Devise the fittest time and safest way to hide from the pursuit that will be made after my flight. Now we go and content to liberty, and not to banishment.
Wood tree. Red, yellow, brown, scarlet, black, ochre, peach, ruby, olive, violet, fawn, lilac, gold.
Now, my co-mates and brothers in exile, has that old custom made this life more sweet than that of painted top? Are not these woods more free from peril than that of the envious court?
Here feel we but the penalty of Adam. This season's difference is an icy fang, as the churlish chiding of the winter wind as it bites and blows against my body, even until I shrivel with cold. Still I smile and say these are no flatterers, but counselors who feelingly persuade me what I am.
Ah, sweet are the uses of adversity, which, like the toad, ugly and venomous, yet wears a precious tool in his head. And yet this life, free from public haunts, finds puns in the trees.
Yeah.
And books in the running brooks. And sermons in the stones. And good in everything. I would not change it.
Happy is your grace to translate the stubbornness of fortune into so quiet and so sweet a style.
Come, shall we kill a venison?
Yeah!
And yet, it irks me that the poor dappled fools, being native burghers of this deserted city, should, in their own confines with forked heads, have their round haunches gored.
Indeed, my lord, the melancholy Jaques grieves at this, and in that kind swears that you do more usurp than doth your brother that hath banished you.
Yeah.
Today, my lord of Amons and myself did steal behind her as she lay along under an oak whose antique roof peeps out upon the brook that brawls along the wood, to the which place a poor sequestered stag that from the hunter's aim had ta'en a hurt did come to languish. And indeed, my lord, the wretched animal heaved forth such groans that their discharge did stretch his leathern coat almost to bursting, and the big round tears coursed one another down his innocent nose in piteous chase. Thus, The hairy fool, much marked of the melancholy Jaques, stood on the extremest verge of the swift brook, augmenting it with tears.
What said Jaques? Did she not moralize on his contemplative spectacle?
Oh, yes, into 1,000 similes. First, for his weeping into the needless stream. Poor dear, quoth she, thou makest a testament as worldlings do, giving thy sum of all to that which hath had too much. Then, for his being there alone, left and abandoned of his velvet friends, 'tis right, quoth Jaques, thus misery doth part the flocks of company. Anon, a careless herd full of the pasture comes jumping by and never stays to greet him. Aye, quoth Jaques, sweep on, you fat and greasy citizens. 'Tis just the fashion. Wherefore dost thou look upon this poor and broken bankrupt here? Thus, most invectively, she pierceth through the body of the country, city, court, and yea, this, our life, and swears that we are mere tyrants, usurpers, and what's worse, to fright the animals and to kill them up in their native and assigned dwelling place.
And did you leave her in this contemplation?
Oh, we did, my lord, weeping and commenting upon the sobbing deer.
Well, show me the place. I love to cope her in these sullen fits, for then she is full of matter.
I will bring you to her straight.
See, under the rose, gray,
Green.
green! Under the greenwood tree!
Is it possible that no man saw them? It cannot be. There are some villains in my court that are consenting sufferance in this.
I cannot hear of any that did see her. The ladies, her attendants of her chamber, saw her abed, and in the morning early they found the bed untreasured of their mistress.
My lord, the Roynish clown at whom so oft your grace was wont to laugh is also missing. Hesperia, the princess's gentlewoman, confesses that she secretly overheard your daughter and her cousin much commend the parts and graces of the wrestler that did but lately foil the sinewy Charles. And she believes that wherever they have gone, that youth is surely in their company.
Then send to his brother and bring that gallant hither. If he be absent, then bring his brother to me. I shall make him find him. Do this suddenly, and let not search or inquisition quail to bring again these foolish runaways.
Who's there?
What? My young master? Oh, my gentle master! Oh, my sweet master! Oh, you remembrance of old Sir Rowan, you! Why, what makes you here? And why are you so virtuous? And why do people love you? And wherefore art thou gentle, strong, and valiant? And why should you be so fond as to overcome the bonny prizer of the humorous Duke? The word of your praises has come too swiftly home before you. Know you not, young master, that for some kind of men, their virtues serve them but as enemies? No more do yours. Your virtues, master, are sanctified and holy traitors to you. Oh, what world is this when that which is comely envenoms those who bear it?
Why, what's the matter?
Oh, unhappy master, come not within these doors. For beneath this roof, the enemy of all your virtues lives. Your brother, I will not call him brother of he who I was about to call his son, but I will not call him son of him who I was about to call his father. Hath heard your praises, and hath the means this evening to burn the lodging where you used to live, and you within it. And if he fail at that, he hath the means to otherwise cut you off. I overheard him. I know his practice. Oh, this place, this house is but a butchery. Abhor it, fear it, but go not within.
Why, whither, Addie, wouldst thou have me go?
No matter whither, just so long as you not go here.
What wouldst thou have me beg my food? Or with a base and boisterous sword enforce a thievish living on the common road? This I must do, or know not what to do. Yet this I will not do. Do how I can. I rather will subject me to the malice of a diverted blood and bloody brother.
Oh, no, do not do so. I have 500 crowns, the thrifty hire of which I did save under your father, and did store to be my foster nurse when service should in my old limbs lie lame and unregarded, age and corner tossed. You take it. He that doth the raven feed, yea, providently also caters to the sparrow and comfort in my old age. Here is the gold. You take it all, but let me be thy servant. Though I look old, yet I am strong and lusty. For never in my youth did I apply the hot and rebellious liquors to my blood, nor did I not with unbashful forehead woo the means of weakness and debility. Therefore, my old age is like a lusty winter. Frosty, but kindly. Oh, let me go with you, and I will give you service as a younger man in all your business and necessities.
Oh, good old friend. How well in me appears the constant service of the antique world, where service sweat for duty, not for need. Thou art not for the fashion of these times, where none will sweat but for promotion. But come thy ways, we'll go along together, and there we have thy youthful wages spent. We'll light upon some settled low content.
But you go on ahead, and I will follow thee with my last gasp of truth and loyalty. Since 17 years, and now almost 4 score, this has been my home, and now 'tis home no more. At 17 years, many their fortunes seek, and at 4 score, 'tis too late a week. But fortune could not recompense me better than a good death, and not my master's debtor.
how weary are my spirits!
Oh, I care not for my spirits, if my legs were so weary.
I would I can find in my heart to disgrace my man's apparel and cry like a woman. But I must comfort the weaker vessel, for doublet and hose ought to show itself courageous to the petticoat. Therefore, courage, good Eliana.
I pray you bear with me. I cannot go no further.
For my part, I'd rather bear with you than bear you, yet I should bear no cross if I did bear you, for think you have no money in your purse.
Oh. Well, this is the Forest of Arden.
Aye. Now am I in Arden. Ah! The more fool I. When I was at home, I was in a better place, but travelers must be content.
Aye. Be so, good touchstone. Look you who comes here, a young man and old in solemn talk.
Corin, that thou knewest how I do love her.
Sylvia, Sylvia, Sylvia. That is the way to make her scorn you still.
Oh, I partly guess, for I have loved ere now.
Oh, Corin, being old thou cannot guess, though in thy youth thou wast fair lover as ever sighed upon a midnight pillow. But if thou love were ever likened to mine, as surely did I think never man loved so. How many actions most ridiculous hast thou been drawn into by thy fantasy?
Into 1,000! That I've forgotten.
Then thou didst never love so heartily. If thou rememberest not the slightest folly that ever love did make thee run into, thou hast not loved. Or if thou hast not sat as I do now, wearing thy hair and thy mistress' praise, thou hast not loved. If thou hast not broken abruptly from company as my passions now make me, thou hast not loved. Oh, Phoebe, Phoebe, Phoebe!
Alas, poor shepherd! Searching of thy wound, I have by hard adventure found mine own.
And I mine. I remember when I was in love, I broke my sword upon a stone and bid him take that for coming tonight to James' smile. Oh, James. And I remember kissing over batlets. And the cow's dogs that are British top hands had milk. And I remember wooing the peace cod instead of her, from whom I took 2 cods, and giving her them again, said with weeping tears, "Where are these for my sake?" We that are true lovers run into strange capers. But as all is mortal in nature, so is all nature and love mortal in folly.
Thou speakest wiser than thou art aware of.
Nay, I shall ne'er beware of mine own wit. God, birthright, good sir, good sir.
Jove, this shepherd's passion is much upon my fashion.
And mine, but it grows something still with me.
I pray you, one of you question yon couple if for gold they will give us any food. I feared almost to death.
All of you clowns!
Peace, you fool, he is not thy kinsman.
Who calls?
You're better, sir!
Else are they very wretched.
Good evening there to you, friend.
Ow. And to you, good sir, and to you all.
I pray thee, gentle shepherd, if that love or gold can in this desert place by entertainment bring us to where we may rest ourselves and feed, for here is a maid with travel much depressed and faints for succor. And faints for succor!
Fair sir, I pity her, and I wish more for her own sake than mine own, that my fortunes could relieve her, but I am a shepherd to another man. I do not share the fleece I graze.
Oh, and our master is of churlish disposition and does not reck to find his way to heaven by doing deeds of hospitality. Besides, his cot, his flocks, and
found a feeder, now for sale and at our sheep hut.
And by reason of his absence, there's nothing for you to feed on. But come with me, and in my voice most welcome you shall be.
Now, what is he that shall buy the flock and pasture?
That young swain that you saw here but erewhile, who little cares about buying anything.
Well, if it stand with honesty, buy thou the cottage, the pasture, and the flock, and thou shalt have to pay for it of us.
And we will lend thy wages. I like this place. I could willingly waste my time in it.
Well, assuredly the thing is to be sold. Go with me, and if you like upon the report, the soil, the profit, and this way of life, I will your most faithful feeder be, and buy it with your gold right suddenly.
Under the greenwood tree, loves to lie with me, and turn its merry note unto the sweeper throat. Come hither, come hither, come hither. Yeah, here shall see no enemy, but winter and rough weather. It'll make you, melancholy, Madame Jaquise.
I thank it. More, I prithee, more. I can suck melancholy out of a song as a weasel sucks eggs. More, I prithee, more.
My voice is, ragged. I know it cannot please you.
I do not desire you to please me. I do desire you to sing. Come, more, another stanza. Poem stanzas.
What you will, Madame Jaquise.
Nay, I cannot, for their names they owe me nothing. Will you sing?
More at your request than to please myself.
Well, then, if ever I thank anyone, I'll thank you. But that they call compliment is like the encounter of two dog-apes. And when a man thanks me heartily, methinks I have given him a penny, and he renders me the beggarly thing. Such as the dog. Come, sing! And you, that will not hold your tongues.
Well, I'll end the song. Ladies, sir, cover the while. The Duke and Duchess will drink under this tree. The Duke has been all this day to look you.
I have been all this day to avoid him. He is too disputable for my company. I think of as many matters as they, but I give heaven thanks and make no boast of them. Come, warble, come.
Who doth ambition shun? All together now, and loves to live in the sun.
In the sun.
Seeking the food he eats.
The food he eats.
And pleased with what he gets. One he said to me is, come hither.
Come hither, come hither.
Yeah! Here shall he see no enemy, but winter and rough weather.
I'll give you a verse to this note that I made yesterday in despite of my invention.
And I'll sing it.
No. it goes. If it do come to pass that any man turn ass, leaving his wealth and ease, a stubborn will. Here shall he see, roast fools is he, and if he will come to me.
What's this Duke Dame?
'Tis a Greek invocation to call fools into a circle. I'll go sleep if I can. If I cannot, I'll rail against all the firstborn of Egypt.
And I'll go seek the Duke and Duchess. No. The banquet is prepared. Duke, Duchess, it's almost time. Duke.
Oh, Master, I can go no farther. I die for food. Here. Help.
Oh, sorry.
Here, I will lie me down and measure out my grave. Farewell, Master.
Why, how now, Addie? No greater heart in thee? Live a little, comfort a little, cheer thyself a little. If this uncouth forest yield anything savage, I will either be food for it, or bring it for food to thee. I will here be with thee presently, and if I bring thee not something to eat, I will give thee leave to die. But if thou diest before I come, thou art a mocker of my labor. Well said. Thou lookest cheerly, and I'll be with thee quickly. If thou liest in the bleak air, come, I will bear thee to some shelter, and thou shalt not die for lack of dinner, if there live anything in this desert. Cheerly, good Addie.
Duchess,
I think she be transformed into a beast, for I can nowhere find her as a human.
She is but even now gone hence. Here, she was married.
Yeah.
Hearing of a song.
If she, compact of jars, should grow musical, there shall be discord among the spheres. Go, find her, tell her I would speak with her.
She saves my labor by her own approach.
Why? How now, friend? What a life is this, that your poor friends must woo your company? What? You look merrily?
A fool. A fool. I met a fool in the forest. A motley fool. A miserable world. Because I do live by food. I met a fool who laid him down and basked him in the sun and railed on Lady Fortune in good terms, in good set terms, and yet a motley fool. Good morrow, fool, quoth I. No, sir, quoth he. Call me not fool, to heaven have sent me fortune. And then he drew a dial from his poke, and looking on it with lackluster eye says,
very wisely. It is 10 o'clock, thus we may see how the world wags. Just but an hour ago since it was 9, and after 1 hour more it will be 11. And so from hour to hour we write, and then from hour to hour we rot, and thereby hangs a tale. When I did hear the motley fool thus moral on the time, my lungs began to crow like that fool should be so deep contemplative. And I did laugh sans intermission an hour by his dial. Oh, motley fool, noble fool, worthy fool, motley's the only wear.
And what fool was this?
Worthy fool, one that hath been a courtier and says, if ladies be but young and fair, they have the gift to know it. And in his brain, which is as dry as the remainder biscuit after a voyage, he hath strange places crammed with observation, the which he vents in mangled forms. Oh, that I were a fool. I am ambitious for a motley coat.
Well, then you shall have one.
It is my only suit, providing that you weed your better judgment of all opinion that grows rank in them that I am wise. Give me liberty withal, as large a charter as the wind to blow on whom I please, for so fools have. And they that are most galled with my folly, they most must laugh. Why, sir, must they so? The why is plain as way to parish church. He that a fool doth very wisely hit, doth very foolishly, although he smart, not to seem senseless of the bob. If not, the wise man's folly is anatomized even by the squandering glances of the fool. Invest me in my motley. Give me leave to speak my mind, and I will through and through cleanse the foul body of the infected world, if they will patiently receive my medicine.
Fie on thee. I can tell what thou would do.
What for a counter would I do but good?
Oh, mischievous, foul sin and chiding sin, for thou thyself hast been a libertine, more sensual than the brutish sting itself, and all the embossed sores and hideous evils that thou with license of free foot hast taught, which thou disgorge into the general world.
Why, who cries out on pride that can therein tax any private party? Doth it not flow as hugely as the sea, till that the weary very means do ebb? What woman in the city do I name when I say the city woman bears the cost of princes on unworthy shoulders? Who can come in and say that I mean her, when such a one as she, such is her neighbor? Or what is he of basest function that says his bravery is not of my cost, thinking I mean him, but therein suits his folly to the metal of my speech? There then, how then, what then? Let me see wherein my tongue hath wronged him. If it do him right, then he hath wronged himself. If he be free, why then my taxing like a wild goose flies, unclaimed of any man. But who comes here?
Forbear and eat no more.
Why, I have eaten none yet.
Back, nor shalt not till necessity be served.
What kind should this cock come up?
Art thou thus bold, man, by thy distress, or else a rude despiser of good courtesy? Civility thou seems so empty.
Touch my vein at first. The thorny points of bare distress have tamed for me the show of smooth civility. Yet am I inland bred and know some nurture, but he dies that touches any of this fruit until I and my affairs are answered.
And you not being answered with reason, I must die?
What would you have? Your gentleness shall force more than your force move us to gentleness.
I almost die for food, and let me have it.
Well, sit down and feed, and welcome to our table.
Speakest thou gently? Pardon me, I pray you. I thought that all things had been savage here. Therefore put I on the countenance of stern commandment. But whatever you are that in this desert inaccessible, under the shade of melancholy boughs, lose and neglect the creeping hours of time. If ever you have looked on better days, if ever been where bells have knelled to church, if ever sat at any good man's feast, and know it is, if ever from your eyelids wiped a tear, and know it is to pity, and be pitied, let gentleness my strong enforcement be, in the which hope I blush and hide my sword.
True. It is we have seen better days, and till church been knolled by holy bells, and sat at good men's feasts, wipe drops from our eyes that sacred pity hath engendered. Therefore, sit you down in gentleness. Take upon command that which we have, that to your help may be ministered.
Then but forbear your fruit a little while, as like a doe I go to find my fawn and give it food. There is a poor old woman whom after me hath many a weary step limped in pure love, till she be first sufficed, oppressed with two weak evils, age and hunger. I will not touch a bit.
Go, find her, and we will nothing waste until your return.
Thank you. Be blessed for your good comfort.
Thou seest we are not alone unhappy, and this wide and universal theater presents pageants of more woe than this scene wherein we play in.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. One man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first the infant, kneeling and puking in the nurse's arms. And then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and his shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. Then the soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good capon lined, with eyes severe, beard of formal cut, full of wise souls and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloons, spectacles on nose, pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice turning again to childish trouble, pipes and whistles in his sounds. Last scene of all, that ends this strange, eventful history. The second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Welcome. Set down your venerable burthen and let her feed.
I thank you most for her.
And so you must. I cannot speak in this.
Well, welcome and fall too. We will not trouble you as yet with questions as to your fortunes. Let's have some music, and good cousin, sing.
Blow, blow, winter wind, thou art not so unkind as man's ingratitude. Thy truth is not so keen, because thou art not seen, although thy breath be rude. Hi-ho, sing hi-ho, unto the green holly, most friendship is fading, most loving may of folly, ho, the holly. This life is most jolly. Then freeze, freeze, thou bitter sky, that dost not fight so nigh. Has benefits forgot, although thy waters warp. Thy sting is not so sharp, as friends remember it not. Hi-ho, sing hi-ho.
If thou wert the good Sir Roland's son, as thou hast faithfully whispered that you were, and as mine eyes witness the effigies of him truly lined and living in your face, be truly welcomed hither. I am the Duke that loved your father, the residue of your fortune. Go to my cave and tell me. Good old friend, welcome, right welcome thou art as thy master is. Take her by the arm, and give me your hand. Let me all of your fortunes understand.
Did somebody say encore?
I did.
Hi-ho, sing hi-ho, onto that green holly. Most friendship is feigning, most loving me of folly. Then hi-ho, the holly, this life is most jolly. Thank you.
Not seen him since? Sir, that cannot be. Why not the better part made mercy that I should seek an absent argument as my revenge thou present, but look to it.
Find out thy brother, wheresoe'er he is, seek him with candle, and bring him, dead or living, within these 12 months, or turn thou no more to seek a living in our territory. Thy lands and all things that thou dost call thine worth seizure do we seize into our hands, until thou canst quit thee by thy brother's mouth of what we think of thee.
Oh, that your highness knew my heart in this. I never loved my brother in my life.
More villain thou. Let's turn him out of doors. Make an extent upon his house and lands. Do this expediently, and turn him going.
Hello, everybody. I am Nate Cole, and I'd like to first of all thank you all so much for coming to see our show tonight, as you like it. You may have seen me up there playing Touchstone, getting to be a little silly, goofy today. Now, all of this is made possible by you guys. We don't charge for tickets, but we do graciously accept your donations. Everything that we do is only made possible by every single one of you that comes to see our shows. We love to put these on, right? It's such a beautiful thing to create such beautiful art in this community, and I, for one, love doing it. This is my 6th year here at Willard Library, my 7th show with the Evansville Shakespeare Players, and I have loved every single second of it. So as you can see, we have all of this, beautiful lighting equipment, this amazing stage put up by our very own Kurt Payne. We have this sound system so that you can hear me, and all of that comes from your gracious donations. So we love to keep bringing you these shows. We have Pericles coming in the winter, which will be a very fun thing and a very good change. We found that Evansville likes our weird Shakespeare that we put on. So yeah, I love doing this, and I love bringing this to you. And all of us here, we come together every year to put on this show. None of us are paid actors. We come here and we volunteer our time. We are not professionals. We are amateurs, because we do this for the love of the theater. We love doing this. We love bringing this to you. And we love that you love watching us, right? Because that's why we do it, right? The joy on your faces, the laughter, everything is for the sake of you, for the sake of this community, and for the sake of the arts. So we would graciously love some donations so that we get to keep bringing this to you, so that we get to keep making it bigger and better, bringing more people, getting better equipment, more sound, so more people can come and see the show, and more people can be enlightened by this beautiful art. So if you could, anything helps, right? $1, some change, anything that you can give, we would graciously accept. So thank you again for coming to see us. Thank you again for enjoying this show. So if you would like, you can go ahead and give me anything in this bucket, and I will tally that up for you later.
hang there my verse in witness of my love. And thou, thrice-crowned Queen of Nights, survey with thy chaste eye from thy pale sphere above thy huntress name that my full life doth sway. O Rosalind, these trees shall be my books, and in their barks my thoughts I'll character, so that every eye which in this forest looks shall see thy virtue witnessed everywhere. Run, run, Orlando, carve on every tree the fair, the chaste, and unexpressive she.
And how likes this shepherd's life, Master Touchstone?
Truly, shepherds, in respect of itself, it is a good life. But in respect that it's a shepherd's life, it's not. But in respect that it is solitary, I like it very well. But in respect that it is private, it's a very vile life. But in respect that it is in the fields, it pleaseth me well. But in respect that it's not at court, it's tedious. As it is a spare life, look you. As it is a spare life, it fits my humor well, but as there is no more plenty in it, it goes much against my stomach. Hast any philosophy in thee, shepherd?
No more than I know, that the more one sickens, the less at ease he is. And he that wants for money and means and content is without three good friends. That the property of rain is too wet, and fire to burn, and that good pasture makes fat sheep, and that the great cause of night is the lack of sun. And he that has learned no wit by nature or art comes from a very dull kindred.
Such a one is excuse you. Such a one is a natural philosopher. Wast ever in court, shepherd?
No, truly.
Well, then thou art damned.
Nay, I hope.
No, truly, thou art damned like an ill-roasted egg all on one side.
For not being at court?
Your reason?
Why, if thy never wast at court, then thy never sawest good manners, and if thy never sawest good manners, then thy manners must be wicked, and wicked is sin, and sin is damnation. Thou art in a pair of estate shepherds.
Not a whit, Touchstone. For those that are good manners at the court are as ridiculous in the country as the behavior of the country is most mockable at the court.
You said that you salute not at court, but that you kiss your hands. That courtesy would be uncleanly if courtiers were shepherds.
Instance, briefly, come instance.
Well, we are still handling our ewes, and their fells are greasy.
Why, do not your courtiers' hands sweat? And is not the grease of a mutton as wholesome as the sweat of a man? Shallow, shallow. A better instance, I say. Come.
Besides, our hands are hard.
Well, your lips will feel them the sooner. Oh, mwah. Shallow again. A more sounder instance, shepherd.
Our hands are often covered in the tar of our sheep by surgery. Would you have us kiss tar? The courtier's hands are perfumed with civet.
Most shallow man! That worm's meat in respect of a good piece of flesh indeed. Learn of the wise and repent. Civet is of a baser birth than tar, the very uncleanly flocks of a cat. Mend the instant, shepherd.
Thou hast too courtly a wit for me, Touchstone. I shall rest.
Wilt wilt thou rest damned? Oh, God, help thee, most shallow man and shallow woman. God make concision in thee. Thou art wrong.
Sir, I am a true laborer.
Of course.
I earn that I eat, get that I wear.
Oh, yes.
Owe no man hate, envy no man's happiness, glad in man's good, and content in my own harm. And my greatest pride is to see my ewes graze and my lambs suck.
And that's another simple sin in you, to bring the ewes and the rams together and to offer to get your living by the copulation of cattle, to be bad to a bellwether, and to betray a she-lamb of 12 months to a crooked-pated old cockledy ram out of all reasonable match. If thou beest not damned for this, well, the devil himself will have no shepherds. I cannot see else how thou shouldst escape.
Well, here comes young Master Ganymede, my new mistress's brother.
From the east to western inn, no jewel is like Rosalind. Her worth being mounted on the wind, though all the world bears Rosalind. All the pictures fairest lined are but black to Rosaline. Let no fair be kept in mind but the fair of Rosalind.
All right, you so 8 years together. Dinners and suppers and sleeping hours accepted. It's the right butter woman's rank to market.
Out the wall!
Oh, for a taste, for a taste. If a hart do like a hind, let him seek out Rosaline. If a cat, well, after kind, so be sure will Rosaline. Winter garments must be lined, so must slender Rosaline. They that reap must sheaf and bend. Then to cart with Rosalind. It's pronounced Rosalind. Sweetest nut, half sourest rind, and such a nut is Rosaline. He, the sweetest rose will find, must find love's brick and Rosaline. It's the very false gallop of verses. Why do you infect yourself with them?
Out, fool! I found them on a tree!
Ow! Truly, the tree yields bad fruit.
Oh! Then I shall grab it with you, and then I'll grab it with the medlar, and it will be the earliest fruit in the country, and you'll be rotten. There you be, half ripe, and that's the right virtue of the medlar.
So you have said, whether wisely or no, let the forest judge.
Peace, here comes my sister reading. Stand aside.
Why should this desert be? For it is unpeopled. No. Tongues I'll hang on every tree that shall civil saying show. Some how brief the life of man runs his erring pilgrimage, that the stretching of a span buckles in his sum of age.
Some of violated vows, twixt the souls of friend and friend, but upon the fairest boughs or at every sentence end. Will I, Rosalinda, write, teaching all that read to know, the quintessence of every sprite heavenward in little show. Therefore heaven nature charged that one body should be filled with all graces wide and large, nature heavenly distilled. Helen's cheek, but not her heart, Cleopatra's majesty, Atalanta's better part, sad Lucretia's modesty. Thus Rosalind of many parts by heavenly synod was devised, of many faces, eyes, and hearts. I had to have the touches dearest prize. Heaven would that I these gifts should have, and I to live and die her slave.
Oh, most gentle pulpiter, what tedious homily of love that you have wearied your parishioners withal, and ever cried, have patience, good people.
How now? Back, friends, shepherds, go off a little. Go with them, Sirrah.
Come, shepherd, let us make an honorable retreat, though not with bag and baggage, and yet with script and scrimmage.
Oh. Didst thou hear these verses?
Oh, yes, I've heard them all and more, too, for some of them had in them more feet than verses could bear.
That's no matter, the feet would bear the verses.
Aye, but the feet were lame, and they could not bear themselves without the verse, therefore stood lamely in the verse.
But didst thou hear without wondering how thy name should be hanged and carved upon these trees?
Oh, I was 7 of the 9 days out of wonder before you came. For look you here what I found on a palm tree. I never so be rhymed since Pythagoras' time that I was an Irish rat that I could hardly remember. But try who hath done this.
Is it a man?
And a chain that you once wore about his neck. Change you color? I prithee who? Oh, Lord, Lord, it's a hard matter for friends to meet, but mountains may be removed by earthquakes and so encounter. Nay, prithee, who is it? Is it possible? Nay, I prithee, with the most petitionary vehemence, tell me who it is. Oh, wonderful, wonderful, and most wonderful, wonderful, and yet again wonderful, and after that I'm all hooping. Oh, good, my complexion. Dost thou think that I'm comparison like a man, that I have doublet and hose at my disposition? 1 inch of delay more is a South Sea discovery. I prithee, tell me who it is quickly and speak apace. I wouldst thou couldst stammer, that thou mightst pour this concealed man like wine out of a narrow-mouthed bottle, either too much at once or none at all. I prithee, take the cork out of thy mouth that I may drink the tidings. So you may put a man in your belly? Oh, is he of God's making? What manner of man? Is his head worth a hat or his chin worth a beard? Nay, hath but little beard. Oh, why then God will send more if the man be thankful. Let me say the growth of his beard and delay me not the knowledge of his chin. It is Orlando who tripped up the wrestler's heels in your heart in an instant. Nay, the devil take mocking. Speak sad, brow, and true, maid. My faith cost 'tis true. Orlando? Orlando? Alas, the day. Oh, what shall I do with my doublet and hose? What did he when thou sawest him? What said he? How looked he? Where and went he? What makes him here? Did he ask for me? Where remains he? How parted he with thee? And when shalt thou see him again? Answer me in one word. You must bar me gargantuous mouth first. 'Tis a word too great of any mouth of this age's size. To answer aye and no to these particulars is more than to answer in a catechism. But doth he know that I am in the forest and dressed in man's apparel? Look he as freshly as he did the day he wrestled? Oh. It is as easy to count atomies than to answer the propositions of a lover, but take a taste of my finding him and relish it with good observance. I found him under a tree, like a dropped acorn. It may well be called Job's tree when it drops forth such fruit. Give the audience, good madam. Proceed. There lay he, stretched along like a wounded knight, and it would be a pity to see such a sight. It well becomes the ground. Oh. Cry hollow to thy tongue, I prithee, it corrects its season of late. He was furnished like a hunter. Oh, ominous! He comes to kill my heart. I would sing my song without burden, thou bringest me out of tune. Oh, dost thou know that I'm a woman when I think I must speak? Sweet, say on. You bring me out. Oh. So, comes he not here? 'Tis he! Oh, slink by and note him. Ah. I thank you for your company, but good faith, I had as lief have been myself alone.
And so had I, but yet for fashion's sake, I thank you too for your society.
God be with you. Let's meet as little as we can.
I would we were better strangers.
I pray you mar no more trees with writing love songs in their barks.
I pray you mar no more of my verses with your reading them ill-favoredly.
Rosalind is your love's name?
Yes, just.
I do not like her name. Hey!
There was no thought of pleasing you when she was christened.
What stature is she of?
Just as high as my heart.
You are full of pretty answers. Have you not been acquainted with goldsmiths' wives and pawned them out of rings?
Not so. But I answer you, right painted cloth, from whence you have studied your questions.
You have a nimble wit. I think 'twas made of Atalanta's heels. Will you sit down with me and we two will rail against our mistress, the world, and all our misery?
No, I will chide no breather in the world except myself, against whom I know most faults.
The worst fault you have is to be in love.
It is a fault I would not trade for your best virtue. I am weary of you.
By my troth, I was seeking for a fool when I found you.
He is drowned in the brook. Look put in, and you shall see him.
There shall I see mine own figure.
Which I take to be a fool or a cipher.
I'll tarry no longer with you. Farewell, good Senor Love.
I am glad of your departure. And you, good Madame Melancholy.
Woo! Talk to him like a saucy lackey, and under the habit play the knave with him.
you hear, Forrester?
Very well, what would you?
I pray you, what is it o'clock?
You should ask what time of day. There's no clock in the forest.
And there are no true lovers in the forest. Else sighing every minute and groaning every hour would detect the lazy foot of time as well as the clock.
Why not the swift foot of time? Had not that been as proper?
Oh, by no means, sir. Time travels in divers paces with divers persons. I will tell you who time ambles withal, who time trots withal, who time gallops withal, and who time stands still withal.
Well, I prithee, who doth he trot withal?
Marry, he trot hard with a young maid between the contract of her marriage and the day that it is solemnized. And if the interim be but a sennight, time's pace is so hard that it seems the length of 7 years.
Who ambles time withal?
With a priest who lack Latin, and a rich man who hath not the gout. For the one sleeps easily because he cannot study, and the other lives merrily because he feels no pain. The one, knowing not the burden of lean and wasteful learning, and the other lacking the burden of heavy tedious penury. These time ambles withal.
Who doth he gallop withal?
With a thief to the gallows, for though he come as softly as foot may fall, he thinks himself too soon there.
Who stays it still withal?
With the lawyers in the vacation, for they sleep between the term and term, and perceive not how time moves.
Where dwell you, pretty youth?
With the shepherdess here, my sister, in the skirts of the forest like fringe upon a petticoat.
Are you native of this place?
As the coney that you see dwell here ere she be kindled.
Your accent is something finer than can be purchased in so removed a dwelling.
Oh, I have been told so by many, for indeed, an old religious uncle of mine taught me to speak, who in his youth was an inland man, and one that knew courtship too well, for there he fell in love. Oh, he read many lectures against it, and I thank God I am not a woman. Woo! For he hath to be touched with so many giddy offenses that he hath generally taxed their whole sex withal.
Well, can you remember any of the principal evils that he laid to the charge of women?
There were none so principal. They were all like one another as halfpence are. Every fault seeming monstrous till his fellow fault came to match it.
Why, prithee, recount some of them.
No, I will not cast away my physic, but on those that are sick. There is a young man that haunts this forest that abuses our young plants by carving the name Rosalind on the barks. Hangs odes upon hawthorns and elegies upon brambles, all forsooth deifying the name Rosalind. I would I could meet this fancy monger and give him good counsel, for he seemed to have the quotidian of love upon him.
I am he that is so love-shaken. I pray you, tell me a remedy.
You see none of my uncle's marks on you, and he taught me to know a man in love, in which cage of rushes I'm sure you are not prisoner.
What were his marks?
A lean cheek, which you have not. A blue eye and sunken, which you have not. An unquestionable spirit, which you have not. A beard neglected, which you have not. I'll pardon you for that, for simply having in your beard is your younger brother's revenue. Then your hose should be ungartered, your bonnet unbanded, your sleeve untied, and your shoe unbuckled, and everything about you in careless desolation. But you are no such man. You are rather a point device in your accoutrements, seeming the lover of yourself than the lover of any other.
Fair youth, I would I could make thee believe I love.
Make me believe it? You may as soon make her that you love believe it, which I warrant you she is apter to do than confess she does. It is one of the points that women still give lies to their consciences. But are you really he that hangs the verses on the trees where Rosalind is so admired?
I swear to thee, by the white hand of Rosalind, I am that he, that unfortunate he.
And are you so in love as your rhymes speak?
Neither rhyme nor reason can express how much.
Well, love is merely madness. And I must tell you, deserves a dark house and a whip as madmen do. And the reason why they are not so punished and cured is because the lunacy is so ordinary that the whippers are in love too. But I profess to cure it by good counsel.
Did you ever cure any so?
Yes, one. And in this manner, he was to imagine me as love, his mistress. And I set him every day to come woo me, at which time I, being but a moonish youth, would grieve, be effeminate, changeable, longing, liking, proud, fantastical, apish, shallow, and constant, full of tears, full of smiles, for every passion something, and for no passion truly anything. As boys and women are, for the most part, cattle of this color. I would like him, then loathe him, then entertain him, then forswear him, then weep for him, then spit at him. And that I drave my suitor from his mad humor of love into a living humor of madness, which was to forswear the full stream of the world and live in a nook merely monastic. And thus I cured him, which way I will take upon me to wash your liver as clean as a sound sheep's heart. There shall not be one spot of love in it.
I would not be cured, youth.
Oh, I could cure you. If you would but call me Rosalind and come to my cot every day and woo me.
Now, by the faith of my love, I will. Tell me where it is.
Go with me, and I will show it to you. And by the way, you shall tell me where in the forest you live. Will you go?
With all my heart, fair youth.
Nay, you must call me Rosalind. Come, sister, will you go?
Come apace, good Audrey. I'll fetch your goats, Audrey, and how, Audrey, am I the, man yet? Doth my simple features content you?
Features? Lord warrant us what features.
Well, I'm here with thee, and thy goats. As the most capricious poet, honest Ovid was among the gods.
Knowledge ill inhabited, worse than Jove in a thatched house.
When a man's verses cannot be understood, nor a man's good wit seconded with a forward child's understanding, it strikes a man more dead than a great reckoning in a little room. Truly, I would the gods had made thee poetical.
I do not know what poetical is. Is it honest in deed and word? Is it a true thing?
No, truly. For the truest poetry is the most feigning, and lovers are given to poetry, and what they swear in poetry may be said as lovers they do feign.
Do you wish then that the gods had made me poetical?
I do, truly. For thou swearest to me thou art honest. Now, if thou wert a poet, I might have some hope that thou didst feign.
Would you not have me honest?
No, truly, for honesty coupled beauty would be to have honey a sauce to sugar.
A material fool.
Well, I am not fair, and therefore I pray the gods make me honest.
Truly. And to cast away honesty upon a foul slut were to put good meat into an unclean dish.
I am not a slut, though I think the gods that I am foul.
Well, praise be the gods for thy foulness. Sluttishness may come hereafter, but, be that as it may be, I will marry thee. And to that end, I've been with Lady Olivia Martex, the vicar of the next village, who hath promised to meet me here in this place of the forest and to couple us.
I would fain see this meeting.
Well, the gods give us joy.
Amen. Oh, a man may, if he were of a fearful heart, stagger in this attempt, for here we have no temple but the wood, no assembly but horned beasts. Horned. But what though? Courage. It's said that many a man knows no end to his goods, right? Many a man has good horns and knows no end of them. But that's the dowry of his wife. 'Tis none of his own getting. Huh? Horns. Even so, poor men alone? No, the noblest deer hath them. As huge as the rascal. Is the single man therefore blessed? No, as a walled town is more worthier than a village, so is the forehead of a married man more honorable than the bare brow of a bachelor. And by how much defense is better than no skill, by so much is a horn more precious than to want. Ah, here comes Lady Olivia. Lady Olivia Martex, you are well met. Will you dispatch us here under this tree, or shall we go back with you to your chapel?
Is there no one here to give the woman?
Oh, I won't take her on gift of any man. No.
Well,
surely she must be given, or the marriage is not lawful. Proceed! Proceed! I'll give her.
Good evening, good master. What you call it? You are very well met, sir. God yield you, sir, for your last company. I am so very glad to see you, sir. Even a toy in hand here, sir. Oh, nay, pray, prithee be covered.
Will you be married, Motley?
Oh, as the ox hath his bow, sir, the horse his curb, the falcon her bells, so man hath his desires, and as the pigeons bill, so wedlock would be nibbling.
And will you, being a man of your breeding, be married in a bush like a beggar? Get you to church and have a good priest that can tell you what a marriage is. This lady will but join you together as they join wainscot. And one of you will prove a shrunk panel and, like green timber, warp. Warp!
I'm not in the mind, but I were better to be married of her than of another, for she is not like to marry me. Well, and me not being well married will be good excuse for me hereafter to, well, leave my wife.
Go thou with me and let me counsel thee.
Come, Audrey, we must be married, or we must live in bawdry. Farewell, good master Olivia. Not thou, sweet Olivia, oh brave Olivia, leave me not behind thee, but wind away. Begone, I say, I will not to wedding with thee. Oh.
Tis no matter. Tis no matter. Mara, the taskal knave of them shall flaunt me from my calling. Never talk to me, I will weep.
Mary, I prithee do, but yet have the grace to consider that tears do not become a man.
But do I not have cause to weep?
As good a cause as any, therefore weep.
His hair is of a very dissembling color.
Something browner than Judas's Mary, but his kisses are Judas's own children.
Oh, in faith, his hair is of a very good color.
An excellent color, but your strawberry was ever the only color.
Oh, but his kissing is full of sanctity as the touch of holy bread. He hath bought a pair of cowslips of Diana, a nun of which her sisterhood kisses not more religiously the very ice of chastity. Isn't it? Yeah. But why did he say he would come this morning and comes he not?
Nay, certainly there is no truth in him.
You think so?
Yes. I think he not a pig purse nor a horse stealer, but in his verity of love, I think him as concave as a covered goblet or a worm-eaten net.
Not true in love?
Yes, when he is in, but I think he is not in.
You heard him swear downright he was.
Was is not is. Besides, the oath of a lover is no stronger than the word of a tapster. They are both the confirmer of false reckonings. He attends here in the forest with the Duke, your father.
Oh, I met the Duke yesterday and had much question with him. And when he asked me of what parentage I was, I said I was good as he, and so he laughed and let me go. But what talk we of fathers when there is such a man as Orlando?
Oh, that is a brave man. He writes brave verses, he speaks brave words, he swears brave oaths and breaks them bravely. Oh, quite traverse athwart the heart of his lover, the puny tilter, who doth spur his horse but on one side, breaks his staff like a noble goose, but all's brave in youth bout and folly die. Oh, look who comes here.
Mistress. Master. You've often inquired after the shepherd who complained of love, who was sitting by me on the turf, praising the proud and disdainful shepherdess that was his mistress.
Well, and what of him? If you will see a pageant truly played between the pale complexion of true love and the red glow of scorn and proud disdain, go hence a little and I will conduct you, if you'll mark it.
Come, let us remove. The sight of lovers feedeth those in love. Bring us to this sight, and you shall say, I'll prove a busy actor in their blank.
Sweet Phoebe, do not scorn me, do not, Phoebe. Say that you love me not, but say not so in bitterness. The common executioner's heart the accustomed sight of death makes hard. Falls not the axe upon the humbled neck, but first begs pardon. Will you sterner be than he that dies and lives by bloody drops?
I would not be thy executioner.
I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. Thou tellest me there's murder in mine eye. 'Tis pretty sure, and very probable, that eyes that are the frailest and softest things, who shut their coward gates on atomies, should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers! Now I do frown on thee with all my heart, and if mine eyes can wound, now let them kill thee. Now counterfeit a swoon. Why now fall down? Or, if thou canst not, oh, for shame, lie not to say mine eyes are murderers. Now show the wound thine eye hath made in me. Scratch thee but with a pin, and there remains some scar of it. Lean but upon a rush, these cicatrix and capable in pressure thy palm some moment keeps. But now mine eyes, which I have darted at thee, hurt thee not, nor I am sure there is no force in eyes that can do hurt.
Dear Phoebe, ever has that ever may be near, to meet in some fresh cheek the power of fancy, then you will know the wounds invisible that love's keen arrows make.
But till that time come not thou near me. And when that time comes, afflict me with thy marks, pity me not, as till that time I shall not pity thee. And why, I pray you, who might be your mother, that you insult, exalt, and all at once over the wretched? What? Though you have no beauty, by my faith I see no more in you than without a candle may go dark to bed. Must you therefore be proud and pitiless? Why, what means this? Why do you look so on me? I see no more in you than the ordinary of nature's sail work. Oh, it's my little life. I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No faith, mistress. Hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brows, or your black silk hair, or your bugle eyeballs, or your cheek of cream that could attain my spirits to your worship. And you foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her like foggy south puffing with the wind and rain? You are 1,000 times a properer man than she a woman. It is you that makes the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her, and out of you she thinks herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But, proud mistress, know yourself and down on your knees, and thank heaven fasting for a good man's love, for I must tell you, friendly in your ear, sell when you can. You are not for all markets. Cry the man mercy, love him, take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to be a scoffer. Take her to thee, shepherd, and fare you well.
Good youth, chide a year together. I had rather hear you chide than this man woo.
He'll fall in love with her foulness, and she'll fall in love with my anger, and if it be so, as soon as she answers with frowning looks, I'll sauce her with bitter words. Why you look so upon me?
For no ill will I bear you.
Oh, I pray you, do not fall in love with me, for I am falser than vows made in wine. Besides, I like you not. You know of my house, 'tis at the tuft of the olives, here hard by. Will you go, sister? Shepherd, fly her hard. Will you go, sister? Shepherdess, look on him better. Be not proud, for all the world can see, none can be so abused in sight as he. Come to our flock.
Dead shepherd, now I find my saw of might. Whoever loved that loved not at first sight.
Sweet Phoebe.
What sayest thou, Silvius?
Sweet Phoebe, pity me.
Why, I am sorry for thee, gentle Silvius.
Sorrow is relief would be. If you do sorrow at my grief and love, by giving love, your sorrow and my grief will both exterminate.
Thou hast my love, is not that neighborly?
I would have you.
Why, that were covetousness. Silvius, the time was that I hated thee, and yet it is not that I bear thee love. But since that thou canst talk of love so well, thy company, which erst was irksome to me, I will endure, and I'll employ thee too.
but do not look for further recompense than thine own gladness that thou art employed.
So holy and so perfect is my love, and I in such a poverty of grace would think it a most plenteous crop to glean the broken ears after the man that the main harvest reaps. Loose now and then a scattered smile, and that I'll live upon.
Knowest now the youth that spoke to me erewhile?
Not very well, but I have met him oft. He's bought the cottage and bounds that the old Carlet was once master of.
Think not I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy. And yet, he talks well. But what care I for words? Yet, words do well when he that speaks them pleases those that hear. It is a pretty youth. Not very pretty, but sure, he's proud. And yet his pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. The best thing in him is his complexion. And faster than his tongue did make offense, his eye did heal it up. He is not very tall, but for his years he's tall. His legs but so-so, but 'tis well. There was a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper and more lusty red than that mixed in his cheek. 'Twas just the difference between the constant red and the mingled damask. There be some women, Silvius, had they marked him in parcels as I did, would have gone near to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not. And yet, I have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what had he to do to chide at me? He said mine eyes were black and my hair black, and now I am remembered scorned at me. I marvel why I answered not again. But that's all one. Omittance is no quittance. I'll write to him a very taunting letter, and thou shalt bear it. Wilt thou, Silvius?
Phoebe, with all my heart.
I'll write it straight. The matter's in my head and in my heart. I will be bitter with him and passing short. Go with me, Silvius. I prithee, youth, let me be better acquainted with thee. They say you are a melancholy woman. I am so. I do love it better than laughing. Those that are in the extremity of either are abominable women and betray themselves to every modern censure worse than drunkards. Why then 'tis good to be sad and say nothing? Why then 'tis good to be a post? I have neither the scholar's melancholy, which is emulation, nor the musician's, which is fantastical, nor the courtier's, which is proud, nor the soldier's, which is ambitious, nor the lawyer's, which is politic, nor the lady's, which is nice, nor the lover's, which is all of these, but it is a melancholy of mine own, compounded of many simples, extracted from many objects, and indeed the sundry's contemplation of my travels, which my often rumination wraps me in a most humorous sadness. A traveler, by my faith, you have great reason to be sad. I fear that you have sold your own lands to see other men's. Therefore, to see much and to have nothing is to have rich eyes and poor hands. Yes, I have gained my experience. Yes, and your experience has made you sad. I'd rather a clown, fool to make me merry than experience to make me sad, and to travel for it, too. God be with you, and you talk in blank verse. Farewell, Madame Traveler. Look, you lisp, and wear strange suits, and disable the benefits of your own country, and be out of love with your nativity, and almost chide God for making you the countenance that you are, or I scarce think you've swam in a gondola. How now, Orlando, where you've been all this while? You such a lover, serve me such another trick, come no more in my sight.
My dearest Rosalind, I come within an hour of my promise.
Break an hour's promise in love? He that divides a minute into 1,000 parts breaks but a part of the 1,000th part of a minute in the affairs of love. It may be said of him that Cupid had clapped him on the shoulder, but I'll warrant him hard hold.
Pardon, dear Rosalind.
Oh, nay. And you be so tardy, come no more in my sight. I'd as lief be wooed of by a snail.
Of a snail?
Aye, of a snail. For though he comes slowly, he carries his house on his head. A better jointure, I think, than you make a woman. Besides, he brings his destiny with him.
What's that?
Why, horns. such as you are fain to be beholding to your wives for. He comes armed with his fortune and prevents the slander of his wife.
Virtue is no hornmaker, and my Rosalind is virtuous.
I am your Rosalind.
It pleases him to call you so, but he hath a Rosalind of a better leer than you.
Oh, come, woo me, for I'm in a holiday humor and like enough to consent. What would you say to me now, and I were your very, very Rosalind?
I would kiss before I spoke.
Nay, you were better to speak first. And then when you were gravelled for lack of matter, you might take the occasion to kiss. Very good orators, when they are out they spit, and lovers lacking, God warn us, matter, take the cleanliness shift to kiss.
How if the kiss be denied?
Then she puts you to new entreaty, and there begins new matter.
Well, who could be outbeing before his beloved mistress?
Mary, that could you if I were your mistress, or I should think my honesty would ranker than my wit.
What, of my suit?
Not out of your suit, yet out of your apparel. Am I not your Rosalind?
I take some joy to say you are, because I would be talking of her.
Well, in her person I say I will not have you.
And in mine own person I die.
No, faith. Die by attorney. This world is almost 6,000 years old. And in that time, there has not been one man who died in his own person, adolescence, in a love cause. Troilus. Troilus had his brains dashed out with a Grecian club, and he did what he could do to die before, and he was one of the very patterns of love. Leander. Leander may have lived many a fair year, though hero had turned none, had it not been for a very hot midsummer night. For the youth went forth to wash himself in the Hellespont, and being overtaken by a cramp, died, and the foolish corners of the age founded the hero of Sestos. But all of these are lies, for men have died from time to time, and worms have eaten them, but not for love.
I would not have my right Rosalind of this mind, for I protest, her frown might kill me.
By this hand, it will not kill a fly. But come, I will be a Rosalind in a more coming-on disposition. Ask me what you will, and I will grant it.
And love me, Rosalind.
My faith I will. Fridays, Saturdays, and all.
And wilt thou have me?
Aye, and 20 such.
What sayest thou?
Are you not good?
I hope so.
Then can one desire too much of a good thing? Come, sister. You shall be the priest and marry us. Give me your hands, Orlando. What do you say, sister?
Well, pray thee, marry us.
I cannot say the words. You must begin with, will you, Orlando? Go to.
Will you, Orlando, take to wife this Rosalind?
I will.
Aye, but when?
Why now, as fast as she can marry us.
Then you must say, I take thee Rosalind for wife.
I take thee Rosalind for wife.
And I might ask you for your commission, but I take thee Orlando for my husband. And there goes a girl before a priest, and a woman's thoughts runs before her actions.
Oh, so do all thoughts, they are winged.
Tell me how long you would have her after you possessed her.
Forever and a day.
No. Say day without the ever. No, Orlando. Men are April when they woo and December when they wed, but maids are May when they are maids. And the sky changes when they are wives. I will be more jealous of thee than a Barbary cock pigeon over his hen, more clamorous than a parrot against the rain, more newfangled than an ape, and more giddy in my desires than a monkey. I will weep for nothing like Diana in the fountain, and will do so when thou art disposed to be merry, and I will laugh like a hyene, that when thou art inclined to sleep.
But will my Rosalind do so?
By my life she will do as I do.
Ah, but she is wise.
Or else she could not have the wit to do this. The wiser, the waywarder. Make the doors upon a woman's wit, and it will out at the casement. Shut that, and it will fly out a keyhole. Stop that, and it will fly with smoke out of a chimney.
A man that had a wife with such a wit, he might say, wit, whither wilt?
Mary, you might keep that check for till met your wife's wit going to your neighbor's bed.
What would have to excuse that?
Mary, to say she came to seek you there. You shall never take her without an answer unless you take her without a tongue. Oh, a woman's faults may make her husband's occasion. Let her never nurse her child herself, or she will breed it like a fool.
For these 2 hours, I will leave thee.
Alas, dear love, I cannot lack thee for 2 hours.
I must attend the Duke at dinner. By 2 o'clock, I will be with thee again.
Aye. Go your ways. Go your ways. I knew what you would prove. My friends told me as much, and I thought no less. That flattering tongue of yours won me. 'Tis but one castaway, and so come death. 2 o'clock is your hour, then?
Aye, Sir Rosalind.
By my troth, and in good earnest, and may God mend me, and by all the pretty little oaths that are not dangerous, if you break but one jot of your promise, or come 1 minute behind your hour, I shall think you are the most pathetical break promise, the most hollow lover, and the most unworthy of her that you call Rosalind may be chosen out of the gross band of the unfaithful. Therefore, beware my censure and keep your promise.
With no less religion than if that were indeed my Rosalind. So have you.
Well, time is the old justice that examines all offenders, and let time try. Adieu. You have simply misused our sex in your love crate. We must have your doublet and hose put over your head and show the world what the bird hath done to her own nest. Oh, cuz! My pretty little cuz, I wouldst thou know how deep a fathom I am in love. Oh, thy affection, it cannot be sounded. It is an unknown bottom like the Bay of Portugal.
Or rather bottomless, for as fast as you pour affection in, it runs out.
Oh, nay. The little bastard of Venus that was the god of thought, conceived of spleen and born of madness, that blind, rascally boy that abuses everyone's eyes because his own are out. Let him be the judge. How deep I am in love. Oh, good Eliana. I cannot be without the sight of Orlando. I'll go find a shadow and sigh till he comes. And I'll sleep. All right.
He's fine. What just he that killed the deer?
Not him.
Madam, it was I.
Yay! Let's present her to the Duke like a Roman conqueror. We would do well to set the deer's horns upon her head for a branch of victory. Have you no song, Forester, for this purpose?
Yes, madam.
Sing it. 'Tis no matter how it be in tune, so it make noise enough.
What shall we have that killed the deer, his leather skin and horns to wear? Then sing him home, sing him home, sing him home. Take thou no scorn to wear the horn. It was a crest ere thou was born. Thy father's father wore it, and thy father bore it. The horn, the lusty horn is not a thing to laugh to scorn.
How say you now? Is it not 2 o'clock? And here much Orlando.
Yes, but with a full heart and a troubled brain, he'd ta'en his bow and arrows and gone off to sleep. But look,
Nope.
My errand is to you, fair youth. My gentle Phoebe bid me give you this. I know not the contents, but as I guess by her stern brow and washed action which she did use for she was writing of it, it bears an angry tenor. Pardon me, I am but a guiltless messenger.
Patience herself would startle at this letter and play the swagger. Bear this, bear all. She says that I am not fair. That I lack manners. She calls me proud and says that she could not love me were men as rare as a phoenix. Odes my will. Her love is not the hair that I do hunt. Why she writes so to me? Well, shepherd? Well, this letter is of thy own device.
Oh, I protest, I know not the contents. Phoebe did write it.
Oh, come, come. You are a fool turned into the extremity of love. I've seen her hand. She has a leathern hand. A freestone-colored hand. I barely did think her old gloves were on, but 'twas her hands. She has a housewife's hands. That's no matter. I think she did not invent this letter. This was a man's invention and of his hand.
Sure, it is hers.
But 'tis a boisterous and cruel style, a style for challengers. Look, well, she defies me like Turk to Christian. A woman's gentle brain would not drop forth such giant rude invention, such Ethiop words, blacker in their effect than in their countenance. Will you hear this letter?
So please you, for I've not yet heard it. Yet heard too much of Phoebe's chidings.
Well, she Phoebes me. Mark how the tyrant writes. Art thou God, a shepherd turned, that a maiden's heart hath burned? Can a woman rail thus?
Call you this railing?
Why, the Godhead laid apart. Warnest thou with a woman's heart? Did you ever hear such railing? Whiles the eye of no man did woo me, that could no vengeance to me, meaning me a beast. If the scorn of your bright eyne have power to raise such love in mine, alack in me, what strange effect would they work in mild aspect? Whiles you chide me, I did love. How then might your prayers move? He that brings this love to thee, little knows this love in me. And by him seal up thy mind, whether that thy youth and kind will the faithful offer take of me, and all that I can make. Or else by him my love deny, and then I'll study how to die.
Call you this chiding?
Alas, poor shepherd, do you pity him? Why? He deserves no pity. Wilt thou love thee such a woman? What, to make thee an instrument and play false strains upon me? No, not to be endured. Well, go your way to her, for I see she has made thee a tame snake along with love. Say this to her, that if she love me, I charge her to love thee. And if she will not, I will not have her unless thou entreat for her. And if you be a true lover, from hence and not a word, for here comes another in our company.
Where the purliest of this forest stands a sheep cote fenced about with olive trees.
West of this place, down in the neighbor bottom, a rank of osiers by the murmuring stream left on your right hand will take you to this place, but at this hour the house doth keep itself, there is none within.
If that and I may profit by a tongue, then should I know you by description, such garments, such years. The boy is fair, of female favor, and bestows himself like a ripe sister. The woman low and different than her brother. Are not you the owner of the house I did inquire for?
Oh, it is no boast being asked to say we are.
Orlando doth commend him to you both. And to that youth he calls his Rosalind, he sends his bloody napkin. Are you he?
I am. What must we understand by this?
Some of my shame. If you'll know of me, what man I am, and how and why and where this handkerchief was stained.
I pray you tell me.
When last Legate Orlando parted from you, he left a promise to return again within an hour. And, hastening through the forest, chewing the food of sweet and bitter fancy, lo, it befell. Threw his eye aside and marked what object it present itself. Under an oak, whose boughs were mossed with age and high-topped bald with dry antiquity, a wretched, ragged man, overgrown with hair, lay sleeping on his back. About his neck a green and gilded snake had wreathed itself, who with her head, nibble and threats, approached the opening of his mouth. But suddenly, seeing Orlando, it unlinked itself, and with a gentle glide it slipped away into a bush, under which bush's shade a lioness, with udders all drawn dry, lay couching, head on ground, with cat-like watch. When that the sleeping man should stir, which is the world disposition of that beast to prey on nothing that doth seem as dead. This seen, Orlando did approach the man, and found it was his brother. His elder brother.
Oh, I have heard him speak of the same brother. And he did render him the most unnatural that lived amongst men.
And well he might so do. Well I know he was unnatural.
But to Orlando, did he leave him there, food to the sucked and hungry lioness?
Twice did he turn his back and propose so. But kindness, nobler ever than revenge, and nature stronger than his just occasion, made him give battle to the lioness, who quickly fell before him. In which, hurtling from miserable slumber, I await.
Are you his brother? Was you he rescued? Was you who did so oft contrive to kill him?
'Twas I, but 'tis not I do not shame to tell you what I was, since my conversion so sweetly tastes, being the thing I am.
But for the bloody napkin.
By and by, when from the first to last betwixt us 2 tears, our countenance and most kindly bathed, as how I came into that desert place. In brief, he led me to the gentle Duke, who gave me fresh array and entertainment, committing me unto my brother's love, who led me instantly unto his cave. There stripped himself, and here upon his arm the lioness had torn some flesh away, which all this while had bled. And now he fainted, and cried, in fainting, upon rousing. Brief I recovered him, bound up his wound, and, as in small space, being strong at heart, he sent me hither. Strangers I am to tell this story, that you might excuse my brother's broken promise, and to give this napkin, dyed in his blood, unto the shepherd youth that he in sport doth call his Rosamond.
Oh no! Ganymede! Sweet Ganymede!
Many will swoon when they do look on blood.
There is more in it. Cousin Ganymede!
Look, he recovers.
Oh, I would I were at home.
We will lead you thither. Will you take him by the arm?
Be of good cheer, youth. You a man? You lack a man's heart.
I do so, I confess it. But, Asura, the body would think this was well counterfeited. You must tell your brother how well I counterfeited a swoon. Hey-ho!
This was not counterfeit.
Yeah, it was.
There is too great testimony in your complexion that it was a passion of earnest.
Oh, counterfeit, I assure ya.
Now then, take a good heart and counterfeit to be a man.
So I do. In faith, I should have been a woman by right.
You look paler and paler. Draw you homewards. Good sir, go with us.
Well, that will I. For I must bear answer back how you excuse my brother, Rosalind.
I shall devise something, but commend to him how well I counterfeited. Will you go?
We shall find a time, Audrey. Patience, gentle Audrey.
Faith, the priest was good enough for all the Old Testament saying.
A most wicked Lady Olivia, a most vile Martex, but Audrey, there's a youth here in the forest that lays claim to you, and
I know who it is. He has no interest in me. Look, here comes the man you meet.
It is meat and drink to me to see a cloud. Oh, we that have good wits have much to answer for. We shall be flouting. We cannot hold.
Good evening, Audrey.
Got you good evening, William.
Oh, and good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, gentle friend. Nay, cover thy head. Cover thy head. Nay, prithee, be covered. How old are you, friend?
5 and 20, sir.
Ripe age. Is thy name, William? A fair name. Wast, born in the forest, you, William?
Aye, sir. And I thank God.
Thank God. Good answer. Good answer. Art thou rich?
Faith, sir. So-so.
So-so. So-so's good. Very good. Very excellent good. And yet it is not. It is but so-so. Art thou wise, sir?
Oh, aye, sir. I have a pretty wit.
Why, thou sayest well. I do now remember a saying. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. The heathen philosopher, when he had a desire to eat a grape, would open his lips when he put it into his mouth, meaning thereby that grapes were meant to eat and lips to open. You do love this maid, sir!
I do, sir.
Give me your hand. Hand! Art thou learned, sir?
No, sir.
Well, then learn this of me. To have is to have. For it is a figure of rhetoric. The drink being poured from a cup into a glass, by filling the one, doth empty the other. Now, all of your writers do consent that ipsi is he. But you are not ipsi, sir. No, for I am he. Hands. For I am he, sir.
Which he, sir?
He, sir, that must marry this woman. Therefore, you clown, abandon, which in the vulgar is leave, the society, which in the boorish is company, of this female, which in the common is woman, which together is abandon, the society of this female. Or clown, thou perishest. Or to thy better understanding, diest, or to wit, I kill thee, make thee away, translate thy life into death, thy liberty into bondage. I'll deal in poison with thee, horn bastinado, or in steel. I'll bandy with thee in a faction, I'll run thee with policy, I'll kill thee in 150 ways. Therefore, sir, tremble and depart.
Do, good William.
God rest you, merry sir.
Our master and mistress seeks you. Come, away, away!
I attend. Come, Audrey, come.
It's possible that on so little acquaintance you should like her, but seeing you should love her, and loving woo, and wooing she should grant. And will you persevere to enjoy her?
Neither call the giddiness of it in question, the poverty of her, the small acquaintance, my sudden wooing, nor her sudden consenting, but stay with me. I love Eliana. Stay with her that she loves me. Consent with both, that we may enjoy each other. Shall be to your good. For my father's house and all the revenue that was owed Sir Rowland lie estate upon you.
Oh, you have my consent. Let your wedding be tomorrow. Thither will I invite the Duke and all his contented followers. But look you, go you and prepare Eliana, for here comes my Rosalind.
God save you, brother.
And you, fair sister?
Oh, my dear Orlando, how it grieves me to see for thy heart a scar.
It is my arm.
But I thought that thy heart had been wounded with the claws of a lion.
Wounded it is, but the eyes of a lady.
Did your brother tell you how well I counterfeited a swoon when he showed me your handkerchief?
Aye, and greater wonders than that.
Oh, I know where you are. Nay, 'tis true. There was never anything so sudden in the fight. 2 rams, or Caesar's personical brag of I came, I saw, I overcame. For your brother and my sister no sooner met than they looked. No sooner looked than they loved. No sooner loved than they sighed. No sooner sighed but they asked one another the reason. No sooner knew the reason but then they sought the remedy. And in these degrees they will build a pair of stairs to marriage, which they will climb incontinent, or else be incontinent before marriage. They are in the very wrath of love. They will together. Loves cannot part them.
They will be married tomorrow. I will bid the Duke to the nuptials. But, well, how bitter a thing it is to look at happiness through another man's eyes. By so much the more tomorrow shall I be at the height of heart heaviness, by thinking my brother happy and having what he wishes for.
Why then, tomorrow can I not serve your turn for Rosalind?
I can live no longer by thinking.
I will weary thee then no longer with idle talking. Know of me then, for I do now speak to some purpose, that I know you are a gentleman of good conceit. I speak not this, that you should bear a good opinion of my knowledge, insomuch I say I know you are. Neither do I labor for a greater esteem that may in some little measure draw a good belief from you to do yourself good and not to grace me. Believe then, if you please, that I can do strange things. Since I was 3 years old, I have conversed with a magician. Come here. Most profound in his art, and yet not damnable. If you do love Rosalind so near the heart as your gesture cries out, and your brother marries good Eliana, so you shall marry her. I know into what straits of fortune she is driven, and it is not impossible to me, if it be not inconvenient to you, to set her before your eyes tomorrow, human as she is, and without any danger.
Speakest thou in sober meanings?
By my life I do. For that I tender dearly, though I am a magician. Therefore, bid you in your best way, bid your friends welcome, for if you will be married tomorrow you shall, and to Rosalind you will. Oh no, look, here comes a lover of mine and a lover of hers.
Hers?
You have done me much ungentleness to show the letter I've written to you.
Oh, I care not if I have. It is in my study to seem spiteful and ungentle to you. Look, you are followed by a most faithful shepherd. Love him. Look upon him. He worships you.
Good shepherd, tell this youth what 'tis to love.
It is to be made of sighs and tears. So am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
To be made of faith and service. And so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
To be all made of fantasy. All made of wishes. All made of passion. All humbleness, patience, and impatience. All purity, trial, and observance. And so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
So am I for Rosalind.
And so am I for no woman.
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
Who do you speak to? I blame you me to love you.
To her that is not here, nor doth not hear.
Oh, I pray you, no more of this. 'Tis like the howling of Irish wolves against the moon. I would help you if I could, and I would love you if I could. Therefore, meet me all together tomorrow. I will marry you, if ever I marry a woman, and I shall be married tomorrow. And I will satisfy you, if ever I have satisfied a man, and you shall be married tomorrow. And I will content you, if what pleases you contents you, and you shall be married tomorrow. And as you love Rosalind meet, and as you love Phoebe meet, and as I love no woman I'll meet. Fare you well, I have left you to your commands.
I'll not fail if I live.
Nor I.
Nor I.
Ah!
Tomorrow is the joyful day, Audrey. Tomorrow will we be married.
I do desire it with all my heart. I hope it is not some dishonest desire, to desire to be a woman of the world. Oh, look, here comes some of the Danish pages.
Well met, honest gentlemen.
Why, my troth, well met. Come, sit, and a song.
We are for you. Sit in the middle.
Shall we clap into a round without hawking or spitting or saying we are horns? Which are the only prologues to that voice?
Oh, I faith, but in a tune, like two gypsies on a horse.
1, 2.
'Twas a lover and his lass, with a hey and a ho and a hey noddy no, for the green cornfield did pass in the springtime, yea, only free-ring time, when birds do sing, hey ding-a-ding, ding-a-ding, ding, sweet lovers love the spring, yes they do, between the acres of the rye.
Ah, young fellows, though there was no great matter in the ditty, yet the note was very untunable.
You are deceived, sir! We kept time! We left not our side!
By my troth, yes, I count it but as time lost to hear such a foolish song. God be with you, God mend your voices. Coming, Audrey.
Dost thou believe, Orlando, that the boy can do all that which he hath promised?
I sometimes do believe, and other times do not. As those that fear, they hope, and know, they fear.
Patience once more. Whilst our compact is urged. You say that if I bring you your Rosalind, you'll bestow her on Orlando here?
That would I had I kingdoms to give with her.
And you say you will have her when I bring her?
That would I were I of all kingdoms king.
And you say that you will be married to me, if you be willing?
That will I, should I die the hour after.
Or else refusing me, you'll give yourself to this most faithful shepherd.
So is the bargain.
And you will take Phoebe, if she will.
Though to have her and death were both one thing.
This I will make all these matters even. Keep you your word, O Duke, to give your daughter, and you yours, Orlando, to receive his daughter. And keep you your word, Phoebe, to marry me, or else refusing to marry me, wed this faithful shepherd, and you, Sylvius, keep your word if she refuses me to marry her. And this I will make all these doubts even.
I do remember in this shepherd voice some lively touches of my daughter's favor.
Well, my lord, the first time I ever met him, methought he was a brother to your daughter. But my good lord, this boy is forest-born and has been tutored in the rudiments of many desperate studies by his uncle, whom he reports to be a great magician, obscured in the circle of this forest.
There's sure another flood, Jord, and these couples are coming to the yard. Here comes a pair of very strange beasts, which in all tongues are called fools.
Salutations and greetings to you all.
But my lord, bid him welcome. This is the motley-minded gentleman I have so often met in the forest. He hath been a courtier, he swears.
Oh, sir, if any man doubt that, let him put me to my purgation. I have trod a measure. I flattered a lady. Been politic with my friends, smooth with mine enemies. I have undone 3 tailors, had 4 quarrels, and like to have fought one.
And how is that taken up?
Oh, sir, we met and found that the quarrel was upon the 7th cause.
How 7th cause? Good my lord, like this fellow.
I like him very well.
Oh, God, yield you, sir. I desire you of the like. Sir, I press in here, amongst the rest of these country calculatives, to swear and to forswear, according as marriage binds and blood breaks. A poor virgin, sir, in ill favored things, sir, but mine own. A poor humor of mine, sir, to take that, and no man else will. Rich honesty dwells like a miser, sir, in a poor house, as your pearl in your foul oyster.
By my faith, he is very swift and sententious.
As the fool's dolt, sir, and such dulcet diseases.
But for the 7th cause, how did you find the quarrel on the 7th cause?
Oh, sir, upon a lie 7 times removed. Audrey, bear your body more seemingly.
Oh!
As thus, sir, I did dislike the cut of a certain courtier's beard. He sent me word that if I said his beard was not well cut, well, he was in the mind that it was. This is called the retort courteous. If again I sent him word that it was not well cut, he would send me word that he was in the mind that it was, and that he cut it to please himself. This is called the quid modest. If again it was not well cut, he was to say that he disabled my judgment. This is called the reply churlish. If again it was not well cut, he would answer that I spake not true. This is called the reproof valiant. And if again it was not well cut, sir, he would say that I lied, sir. This is called the counterjack quarrelsome. And so to the lie circumstantial, and then to the lie direct.
And how oft did you say his beard was not well cut?
Oh, sir, I durst go no further than the lie circumstantial. Durst he not give me the lie direct? And so we measured swords in the parting ways.
Can you nominate now, in order, the degrees of the lie?
Sir, oh sir, we quarrel in print by the book, as you have books for good manners. I will nominate you the degrees. The first is the retort courteous. The second is the quid modest. The third is the reply churlish. The fourth is the reproof valiant. The fifth is the counterjack quarrelsome. The sixth is the lie circumstantial. And the seventh is the lie direct. And all of these, sir, you may avoid, except for the lie direct. And you may avoid that too, sir, but within ear. I do remember, sir, when 7 justices could not take up a quarrel, but when the parties were met themselves, one of them thought but of an if, saying, if you said so, sir, and I said so, so they shook hands. Thank you. Your if, sir, is your only peacemaker. So much virtue, sir, in if.
Is not this a rare fellow, my lord? He's as good at anything, and yet a fool.
He uses his folly like a stalking horse, and upon presentation of this, he shoots his wit.
Then is there mirth in heaven, when earthly things may even atone together. Good Duke, receive thy daughter. Hymen from heaven brought her, yea, brought her hither, that thou mightest join her hand with his, whose heart within his bosom is.
To you I give myself, for I am yours. And to you I give myself, for I am yours.
If there be truth in sight, you are my daughter.
If there be truth in sight, you are my Rosalind.
If sight and shape be true, why then, my love adieu.
I'll have no father, if you be not he. I'll have no husband, if you be not he. Nor ne'er wed a woman, if you be not she.
Be so. I bar confusion. 'Tis I must make conclusion of these most strange events. Here's 8, that must take hands, to join in Hymen's bands, if truth holds true content. You and you, no cross shall part. You and you are heart and heart. You to his love must accord, or have a woman to your lord. You and you are sure together, as the winter to foul weather. Whiles the wedlock hymn we sing, feed yourselves with questioning, that reason wonder may diminish, how thus we met, and these things finish. Wedding is great Juno's crown, oh,
blessed on the border bed. This land and people's every town. I would not beg the honor, high honor and renown. To Hymen, God of every town.
My dear niece, welcome thou art to me. Even daughter welcome to no less degree.
I will not eat my word. Now thou art mine. Thy faith my fancy to thee doth confide.
Let me have the audience for a word or two. I am the second son of old Sir Roland that brings tidings to this fair assembly. Duke Frederick, having heard how every day men of great worth resorted to this forest, took it upon himself, in his own conduct, to come here on foot and put his brother to the sword. And to this forest he came, where meeting with an old religious man, after some questioning, was converted, both from the world and from enterprise. His crown bequeathing to his banished brother, and all the land that were exiled with him restored. This to be true, I do engage my life.
Welcome, young man. Thou offers fairly to thy brother's wedding. To one, his land withheld, to the other, the land itself at large, a potent dukedom.
First, in this forest, let us do those ends which were here begun and well begot. Afterward, those happy number who hath endured shrewd days and nights with us shall share in the good of our returned fortune in measures according to their states. Meanwhile, forget all this new-fallen dignity and join us in our rustic revelry. Come, play music, and brides and bridegrooms all, with measures heaped with joy, to the measures fall.
Sir, madam, by your patience. If I heard you right, the Duke has put on a religious life and thrown into neglect the pompous court?
He hath.
To him will I. Out of these convertites, there is much matter to be heard and learned. You and your former honors I bequeath, your patience and your virtue much deserves it. You, to a love your true faith doth merit. You, to your land and love and great allies. You, to a long and well-deserved bed.
Hey.
And you, to wrangling, high-loving voyages, but for 2 months' victuals. So, to your pleasures. I am for other than dancing pleasures.
Stay.
Did we stay?
To see no pastime, I. What you would have, I'll stay to know at your bed and cave.
Proceed. Proceed. Let us, these rites begin. We trust they'll end in true delight.
1, 2, 1, 2. Betty was a
lover and his lass, with a hay and a hoe.
It is not the fashion to see the lady the epilogue, but it is no more unhandsome than to see the Lord the prologue. If it be true that good wine needs no bush, then 'tis true that a good play needs no epilogue. Yet, to good wine they do use good bushes, and good plays prove the better with the help of a good epilogue. But what case am I in, then? I am neither a good epilogue, nor can I insinuate with you the half of a good play. I'm not furnished like a beggar, therefore to beg will not become me. My way is to conjure you, and I will start with the women. All women here tonight, rise, stand with me. All women, up, stand up. All women, I begin with the women. I charge you, O women, for the love you bear to men, that you may like as much of the play as please you. And men, stand, rise, all men. And I charge you, O men, for the love you bear to women, for I perceive by your simpering that none of you hates them, that between you and the women the play may please. Now if I were a woman, I would kiss as many of you that had beards that liked me, complexions that pleased me, and breasts that I defied not. And I'm sure as many of you as have good beards, good faces, and sweet breasts will, for my kind offer, when I make curtsy, bid me farewell.